eyes. Come on, Shinelle.
Eyes.
You got more to lose than me. Okay. Hold on. Eyes. Listen, this is the marriage episode. Y'all better eyes it up.
Hey.
We had a lot of eyes last week.
Oh,
this week went not as many eyes.
You better put on those glasses for eyes. Thank y'all so much for being on the podcast with us.
What up?
So excited to be here.
I could go through y'all's resumes, but we're not interested in that.
Yeah,
IMDb them. They are like the most, I hate the term power couple. It's actually a red flag for me. But y'all might be yeah. If a guy's like, we could be a power couple, I'm like, I'm running.
Because it's usually a lie.
Because it's usually a lie. But y'all are really a power couple.
Truly.
And most importantly, y'all are my favorite couple.
Yes. I don't know if you know this, but when Kimmy and I feel hopeless in love, we try to think of who can we see in our lives that are together and happy. It's you and one other couple. Legitimate. And we do this every couple months.
Yeah.
We check in.
Yeah, and we're
Well,
like,
y'all make
Tobie
us happy.
Yeah.
We'll be fighting. It's like, Kimmy and York want to come over. Then come on.
Because we do. We
save our
fight
marriage
a
a
lot,
lot.
y'all. Like,
And that's what I love about y'all is it never feels like we're perfect.
Yeah.
I actually can understand the work with y'all.
Yeah.
I can be like, I can get through that. It never feels like, they're lying, they're protecting something. It feels like a friendship, an elevated friendship with eyes.
Yeah.
you know what's funny is that at one point she told me, she was like, I don't want to just be your friend. Like, and I was like, ain't that what we supposed to be like trying to do?
I said elevated, okay?
Thank you.
My earring fell out. It said no.
Your earring was
like,
listen.
But to that point, your red flag is not Shinelle's red flag.
Okay.
Which is not York's red flag, which
Not
is not
at all.
my red flag.
That's
And
right.
our red flag is not their red flag, which is why we always do the flagometer.
Yes.
So for this episode, and this episode only, York,
Yes.
please hit us with the flagometer of the week.
Yes. For this week, the pink flag is Himalayan sea salt pink.
Okay.
It's very specific. For those of you that don't know, I was going to say Ralph's may not have it, but being disrespectful.
Ralph's got it. Ralph's got it.
Ralph's
It's
got
in
it.
the section with all the seasoning.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I have to shade at Ralph's.
Ralph's, if you want to sponsor us, I will cut York out this podcast. If you need me to.
The disrespect. Okay, so you've been seeing each other for a couple months. You're not official, but there have been conversations about being exclusive.
Okay.
Everything seems great. The conversation's great. The sex is great. There's laughter. Everything is hitting. And then on one of your dates, they mentioned that they like a certain kind of candy. Just drop the hint. And you happen to be out, and you see this candy, and you're like, oh, let me pick up this little bit of, candy for them just as a thoughtful thing. So you show up to their house, you ring the doorbell, and when he answers the door, he's got a 2-year-old child on his hip. He has a son that he has not mentioned to you ever. So this is your first time finding out that he has a child.
In how many months?
4.
Nah.
Now, you have been to the house. You spent the night over the house. You ain't seen a toy. You ain't seen no indication of anybody under the age of 30. Is that a pink flag?
Here's my question. How is it Himalayan salt and not red hot chili pepper? I don't know. That's the wrong seasoning.
Now, see, for me, it's a pink flag because I can understand how someone might be afraid to give that information with the fear that the other person might run because they have a child. I can understand being a little hesitant about finding the right moment to talk about that sort of thing.
Okay, Shinelle Tobie. Y'all know I be coming to y'all. I met my husband, okay? I love to tell them. I'm joining y'all club, okay? Many times. So I come to y'all. I'm like, yo, met this man. And the next time y'all see me, you're like, what's going on? And I'm like, Child, he has a whole kid.
Child.
Child, he got a child.
A child for me is not a deal breaker because we have children. Can I talk?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Because we have children. Something right there, y'all. Ain't crazy. We have children. So I feel like fear for me would be the wrong feeling. It would be like, are we at this place where you can meet my child? You know, I'm not hiding them. I don't know who you are yet at 4 months. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for me, if you came to us and you was like, I'm dating this guy, he has a 2-year-old, and he's happy to show you this child, like, cool, you know? But if they're like afraid and it's like, what you think?
Yeah.
It's like, is your child a compromise? Like, do you feel like you can hide your child longer? Or for me, those are the questions I would think. The attitude around it.
For me, it's still pink. But it's not pink Himalayan salt. It's like pinks, I left something red in the wash machine with white.
But I see Himalayan salt got a little white in it.
It does.
Like it's like
I see it as crystal.
crystallized.
It's like this solid. This is a solid pink.
Like a prism. Stop.
Mine is like it
You
done
see
blended.
different colors
I need
coming
I need a good conversation at this point to be like,
Right.
because I understand it's like, all right, I ain't picked up none of this. I really need a good conversation for you to let me know. Like, what didn't you trust about me that you couldn't bring this up the first 2 times we was linking?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's been
what was
4
that?
months.
It's been 4 months, and it's like,
How many times do you meet in 4 months? People are busy.
I don't know. 4 months. I mean, for me to like, I feel like I need at least 3 months to decide whether or not I'm going to be in a relationship with you. So 4 months feels like we've moved past that point. Like we about to be official tomorrow.
Also, you said this person's asking for candy.
No.
York, you misled us with that.
Wait, you love candy though. Like I had put you in that situation. Don't
was like,
You did not have kids,
but this-
though. Let's say that. You
Also,
did not
it's
have
like-
kids. Hush it. Hush it.
something that does
Hush
go
it.
in the back of my head. I'm like, this nigga may be a liar. Like this is
yeah.
because
Why?
I'm like
That's true.
I'm placing that
Give
in
me
the
some
back
candy.
because
What's
it's
the
like,
candy?
why didn't you
No.
leave?
First of all, listen. He didn't say give me some candy. He mentioned on a date
He liked
that he
Laffy
liked
Taffy.
he liked Laffy Taffy.
I do too.
Okay. So he mentioned that he likes Laffy Taffy. And then you're in the store and you see some Laffy Taffy. You're like, oh, this guy that's about to be bae loves Laffy Taffy. Let me get that man some Laffy Taffy. And then you show up and he got a baby. That's what
York
happened.
was using the Laffy Taffy as a writer, like a way to get the protagonist to the
yeah.
situation.
You got
And
to
I
follow.
like him.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
his favorite flavor? Banana. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay.
Because
But
he's
now,
thinking of you.
it's the
Yeah.
baby. Is the Laffy Taffy for him or is it for the baby that I just found out?
There you go.
know.
Questions for the youth.
I think it's red. But anyway, we continue.
Oh.
Let's move.
I think okay. The rest of us think it's pink.
Right,
This
with
side,
pink.
this side,
Kimmy.
we think
He
it's
said
going
pink.
No, he said it's
more
going
red.
towards red.
But
it's
Toby
strong.
also has children, so if something.
Oh
Lord
wait, you
forbid
making it seem
happens-
like that's not your child. Just
No, but I'm
please.
saying.
You made it seem like Toby.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I'm going towards red. I'm going towards red.
But
It's
you have
something-
children, boo.
No, but
so
you-
if we got a divorce, you're gonna be looking at women and you want them to be like.
I'm leading with that
Yes,
though. It's like that's the
okay.
thing I'm
problem is
leading
not
with.
the
Okay.
child. I'm okay. I can date a man with. I've dated men
And
with
you're
multiple.
good with
I'm
children.
okay.
She's good with children, everyone.
I'm fantastic.
She's
I think
fantastic.
I've always said I'd make a great stepmom. Okay.
You
for
are
real.
great.
I would
You
be
are
a great stepmom. I'm not trying to be your mom, but we'll get along. Okay.
Yeah.
Bonus mom. But why did you hide it from me for 4 months? In fact, my red flag is not he has a child because I don't care if you have a child. It's that you don't love the child is not a priority in your dating because you should by 4 months be trying to figure out if I'm okay with having a
Right,
child.
right.
That'll
So
preach.
either-
That'll preach right there. That'll
either
preach.
You don't see me in your life long term. You don't see me in your life long
still
term.
pink,
That's the
though.
red flag.
I got you.
Or your child doesn't matter in how you date. Either way, I'm out.
I hear. Okay, so red over there, pink over
Over
here.
here, we
Okay.
sat in the right place.
That's right. That's
Here,
right.
cheers. Eyes.
Okay, that aha. There we go.
And that is the sound of people who are gonna get fucked over.
Okay, so the red flag. We doing pomegranate seed red.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, so a little
That's right.
deep.
Yeah,
Got a
deep.
little black in them.
So you.
Tedious.
Yeah, tedious.
Tedious.
They're like, red flag, red flag.
Okay, so it's your first date. He asks you out. You agree on a time and place. The day of the date, you don't hear from him. You text to confirm. He takes a couple of hours, but he finally gets back to you and confirms. You show up to the date a little early. Let's say you're going to meet at 7. 7 o'clock comes, he's not there. 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes pass, 15 minutes pass.
I'm gone, just FYI.
And he's not there. You text him and don't get a response. Is this a red flag?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or did something just come up?
But wait, what happens after this?
Yeah, nah.
He
gotta
doesn't
give us
show up.
more.
He doesn't show up. You go home after, let's say you were generous. You go home after 30 minutes. He texts you the next day and says he got busy and he's so sorry. He'd like to take you out again if you're up for it.
So we in 2023, because that used to happen to me a lot in like 2003.
You better say the
We
right
get
date.
little-
Don't be like, you better say the
Red.
right date.
That's a juicy
Toby,
pomegranate red.
I saw the mathematics. Don't be like, 2003.
Very red for me.
For sure. First of all, after 15 minutes, I'm leaving without telling you. Yeah. And in fact, to be fair, I tell men that if they want to take me on a date, great. 7 p.m., just so you know, after 15 minutes, I will be gone.
What if, and because this is the thing that, because we're from the theater. If I'm getting a check-in every 5 minutes, like, man, I'm right here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
I'm okay with that.
That didn't happen here.
No.
And this
Yeah.
is why
Yeah.
Stay.
this is why it's like, nah, I can't mess with you. But I'm also the person to be like, I'm gonna give it another shot.
Really? Okay, talk us through that.
Because life happens, and life happens in such a way sometimes that I can't get to the thing. And this is
Boo, he texted the next day and
Yeah, the
said,
next day. Why didn't life happen? You can't say
nothing. Grandma didn't die. Mama okay. The dog is okay.
but see, this is the thing, like
We all lived through a pandemic. This person is okay.
that's what has to be. I have to hear the reason, and then I'll give it another
He
shot.
said he was just busy.
Oh no, I can't. You're right.
He was editing.
Pomegranate.
Yeah, but yeah. I don't know.
Pomegranate, a
In fact,
juicy pomegranate. red.
I'm willing to say I'm more likely to talk through the man with a child on his hip than that.
Yeah, because that's pink, as we've established.
Oh,
But no, it's red for us. But
Oh, yeah.
pomegranate is deep
damn it.
black.
I thought I was making a point.
Pomegranate deep
Yeah,
black.
yeah,
fell
yeah.
right
no,
into it.
No, I got you. Red is like,
Yeah, okay.
it's
all right.
stop and look.
Yeah,
It's
real-
stop.
All right, real cute. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess we've established that
Yes.
it's the pink and the red. Y'all won. Fine. Okay. When y'all get played, don't come to me, okay?
But what did you do? I'm so curious.
This ain't never happened to me. It has happened to friends of mine.
The friend he's talking about is me, okay?
No, it wasn't. But
It has happened to
Speak
me.
on
Yeah,
that.
I-
I'm not
Did you
doing
do
it.
You
But
didn't
it's
do it
not a
again?
reflection on
The
you.
problem with me is I'm going to think you dead.
Right.
I'm just going to this man is dead because no rightful human is going to not show up.
It's to respect my time.
That's
for
so
me.
true.
Yes.
Yes.
And I would love for someone to explain what happens after, because in my head, you're like, okay, either you're dead or you're like, nah, I'm not trying to go out. Okay, cool, don't go out. But the next day when you're like, I'd still like to go out, why do you?
yeah, all you had to do was send a text and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, I'm caught up." It takes 2 seconds to send a
Yeah,
text, and people act like that's a big thing. Like it's like, "Oh, I was so caught." You
No.
can send a text, especially if you know you're supposed to be
No.
somewhere. You just don't care enough.
Even if it's like the date starts at like 7 p.m. and I've had this happen to me with not like a date, like a romantic date, but like
Clarify.
a meeting.
That's good.
With like a meeting. I did. I'm in here with my wife. With
Now
like
the
a
wife
meeting.
is present.
And it was like
I'm very confident.
it's like
I already know before
3
he
minutes
tells it.
before 3 minutes before this guy that I was meeting texted me and was like, man, I got caught up. That is a redeemable quality to me, where
Yeah.
it's like, even if I was supposed to be there at 7, 3 minutes before I got caught up, I'm actually headed to the place. I get off on like Melrose and just turn right back around.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh,
Now,
okay.
I'll be irritated,
Yeah.
but
3
I can go
minutes
on
is-
another date. We can reschedule when I'm done irritated. Like, but you don't text me,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
Me, my rule is 15 minutes and or my first drink is done. I'm out.
And that's good.
Yeah.
Don't waste the trip.
Don't waste the time.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I have a question though, because I feel like, a lot of our examples for red flags are like single life, I want to know pre-marriage life. Yeah. What were some red flags you dodged to get you? Because I believe behind every marriage is a dodged red flag, okay?
Truly.
So there must have been some people prior to this union that you like, red flag, boom. And instinctually, it was leading you to Tobie. It was leading you to Shinelle. So what is a red flag y'all experienced in your past relationship? Oh,
So
Shinelle's ready. Okay.
But Tobie can start. But I just want to tell the audience that we've been married for 10 years now, dated like 5 years before that.
Yes.
And friendship was the core. So you want to start. So I tell you this to say, when we were dating, there was no Instagram. There was no like Facebook.
Facebook was out.
there.
Facebook
but
was
at the
out.
time, I thought it was the devil.
For
real? Yes.
Say more.
I thought it was the devil, which it kind of is. All the shit is. You don't need to know what other people are doing.
Oh,
you know what
okay.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
You start comparing yourself, and then you're looking at people you don't even know, and it's weird. And then it's like 4 hours later, and it's like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Sorry, do y'all cuss?
We
all
don't.
the time.
All
Okay.
the time. Fuckity fuck fuck.
Fuckity fuck fuck.
Bitch.
That's my baby. Our little 1-year-old be like, shit. And I'm like, yeah. And Toby like, what the fuck?
I love me some couch.
But yeah, so yeah, Facebook, Instagram's not really a thing.
Your red flags from previous. What
So
were those?
just talk about it.
So one of mine is I was dating this girl, and all of my personal business was being regurgitated to her friends, and I would be at functions with them, and then all of a sudden I hear personal shit about me from her, and I was like, how did you get this information?
Yeah.
And it was like, and so that was like a big red flag for me, like sharing what we talk about as far as like what we're trying to build, what we're trying to do.
Do men not do that? Just out of curiosity.
How do you mean, share?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you mean like in like guy talk and all that type of stuff?
Y'all don't
Yeah.
ever talk about like something.
No, I do not talk about anything that Shinelle and I'll
But
talk about the
pre-marriage.
things.
Now.
Pre-marriage.
Yeah.
Do your friends? Because we know you're a good guy. But
Pre-marriage.
do your friends talk about their girlfriends' situations?
Pre-marriage, I was talking about, man, I'm trying to date this girl. I'm trying to get with this girl.
but
I
you wouldn't
wasn't
do it.
talking about what it was like or what it felt like or what or any of that. But I don't kiss and tell. Like I don't do
Can
that.
I just maybe defend ex-girlfriend for a little bit?
You don't want to
Sometimes, sometimes I find myself sharing a little bit to give context on a human. So it's like, he did this, and I know you about to judge him and say what was your red flag what was the red?
Pomegranate.
The pomegranate. And I'm like, but I think it's Himalayan. And let me tell you why. His daddy did this and this. It's sometimes as a context thing that I'll share a little bit.
But I've just
Maybe-
poured myself to you.
Yeah.
And now you're pouring some of me into somebody else's cup.
Ooh,
and they pour
I am
me
the red
out.
flag.
They pour me out.
That's true.
And I will say, my mom taught me the most valuable lesson. Don't share everything with girlfriends.
Yes.
And don't share all of whatever's going on with my mom. Because she was like, I'm like your biggest fan. And if I know anything, unless it's like an emergency danger.
Yeah.
She was like, because I don't belong in that.
Yeah.
So that's helped us that our parents have lived through their BS, that they're passing it to us. And that's something huge. Like, don't share.
Yeah.
You can work it out.
And what the friend ended up doing to me was that everything that I poured into this girlfriend, when she got it, she was constantly pouring me out. This same friend was the one that told me when she cheated on me, she came back with so much joy and elation. And she was like, and she didn't come to me though. She went to my cousin, and my cousin had to come to me and be like, dog. He's like, you sitting down? I was like, nah, man.
You sitting down.
He hit me with it was a play. It was a play script. He was like, you sitting down? I was like, nah. He was like, man, she out there, dog. I was like, no. And so I was like, how you know? He was like, such and such told me. And I was like, that chick.
Did you suspect she was cheating?
Yeah, because she had cheat tendencies.
Oh, so that's amazing. Talk me through men who take back women who cheat. Because I feel like we always hear women who take back men, but we don't really hear men taking back women.
Did you take her back?
Yes, you said she had cheated.
No. We didn't get back together after that.
No,
Okay.
but you said prior, right?
No, but what she told me about her experiences before.
Got
Yeah, her experiences
Oh,
before.
you thought you
So
were
wait,
different.
when we
I did.
started seeing each other, I don't know if you want this off the record. Y'all
No,
weren't
no.
like on and off or like unofficial, whatever.
We were on and off.
It was like an unofficial something when
Okay.
we became friends.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I was like, you out of here. For all the reasons people are thinking of now, you out of here.
I love that Shinelle. Shinelle saw an opening. She said, "Okay,
yeah.
maybe that's the message. Look, your man might be in a relationship with a red flag. Okay, just wait in the corner for that red flag. Okay?
But let me tell you what she did. It was one day.
Wait, you gonna tell it?
Yeah.
Tell it.
It was
then.
this was a beautiful moment, and this is where all of the flags for I was like, I need to see who she is. I remember I was riding with Shinelle. We were just talking. Nothing had happened. We weren't like dating or anything, but I knew that I was smitten by her, and I was still in a relationship. I passed this woman that I'm with, and I'm in
panicked.
Chanel's car.
He panicked.
I'm
He's in
past.
my
I
passenger
passed.
seat.
We're on a common street, and we pass each other, and I see her car,
think she
and I'm
saw
in
him.
Chanel's car, and then we pass each other, and I was like, ugh, and I was like, what do I do? Chanel
He says
pulled
it
over.
out loud. What do I do?
She pulls
I was like,
over.
"Get
She
in the
says,
car."
get out. She was like, go get in the car with your lady.
I had this. I knew I had
love
him.
it.
I was like, and I looked at her, and I was like, what?
I love.
She's like, go
that.
get in the car. She was like,
It's like,
God.
we're not doing anything. Just go.
But in my head, we had already done so much.
Yeah.
But nothing had
Chanel.
actually
Oh,
happened.
that's smooth.
Wasn't it gangster? Oh!
When I tell you, Chanel is a G.
And I'm in the car with her now.
I love it.
But yeah, I want to hear your red flags too.
Okay.
No. We gonna get there. First of all, when a black
wanna
man
get off
says,
of me. I
when
wanna
a
get off
black
of me.
man says smitten.
That's right. That's right.
Listen, I knew it was over when you said smitten. Okay.
Said,
I love
get
that,
out the
Shinelle.
car. We
Shinelle,
ain't doing
I
it.
love that.
Pulled over at a gas station.
Can I ask you a question? I'm trying to be like you. Does that confidence just come innately, or did you just know that your connection with him was something that you hadn't experienced? And it was like, that's who I'm supposed to be with. In
The
this.
connection was strong. When I met Tobie, before I think I met him, I saw him in a 10-minute play, and I was going to school for biology, and I see him up on the stage, and I was like, he really believes in himself. And I was keeping that secret that I wanted to be an actor. So then when we started becoming friends and talking to each other, something just felt, when I met him, I was like, I've seen you before. I've met you. I know it. So it was just something where the confidence when I saw her, I was like, you're not it.
Not a threat.
You're not it. So there was when I saw her, I would just
Something
be
is
like,
not
"Ugh."
adding up here.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, she's forcing this.
It's always sad when you meet a guy like that, when you meet their partner and you're like, this
That ain't
ain't,
her.
this
Yeah.
ain't it.
That's a real thing.
Yeah. Oh, I meet so many men where I'm like, but I'm like, oh, for where you are in your self-confidence journey.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
You need.
I was lucky that he was listening to me.
Yeah.
It was the right time.
I love that, Shinelle.
That's right.
Okay, now that we've praised you, we need to know about some moments where there were some red flags.
Okay, so when I was really in love with, this boy would ghost me like every 2 weeks. He would ghost me every 2 weeks. And he wouldn't call me some months. But when he would call me, I'd be like, hey, like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I would never say anything. Looking back, I knew it was a red flag because I'm healing now. But he was so damn good looking. So I was
Ain't that it?
you don't see
It's the
it.
finest. It's just some of you
He was
niggas
so fine.
Yeah.
weird. This
You
is
know,
the
he
you.
was shaving sometimes and his lips would do.
But Okay,
York, you gonna get me in trouble.
was he funny?
No.
Yeah, you
Okay,
see, that's where
see?
they lose me.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
It
you're
wasn't
not
funny.
funny,
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to laugh back then. I wasn't trying to laugh.
something was laughing. Okay.
Hey, but she didn't know what all she could do then.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. That's right. Okay. So at the time, you didn't know if it was a red flag?
I did not. I would just always be like,
So
what's
what did
wrong
you
with
think was
me?
happening?
What's happening? I don't know. I never asked to. Now, that's a
Oh.
red flag on my part, right?
You were young.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
young, yeah. First love.
Are
And
there
I felt like that's what boys did
Yeah.
back then.
Are there some things where a friend will come to you because, you've been in a relationship for a while. So I feel like I've always found going to people who have been in long relationships give like really great advice because it's not so because I'm not a believer that you need to leave at the first red flag. In fact, I've gone to Shinelle and be like, girl, this man did A, B, and C. I need someone with
Yeah.
a full perspective. And I've always found your advice to be very incisive, empathetic, but very big picture. Has there ever been a time a friend comes and you're like, sis, you need a bounce?
Like I said earlier with my mom, she's
Yeah.
like, you don't get into it because, like I told you, like my husband's a reformed F-boy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
they have their moments. And luckily I had this reformed man
Yeah.
when he was like, I feel a connection, let's do something. So I always have hope that something will happen and
Yeah.
I try not to talk. I even don't talk to girlfriends who have broken up with someone and
Yeah.
I don't like to bash them completely because
Yeah.
they make you happy.
Yeah.
And I'm not there when someone's alone with someone,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't think I've ever,
You've never.
It's not my place.
No, not that
I
you
want
need
a
to say
friend to
something.
be happy.
But yes,
I
but not
want
that,
you,
Not that you need to say something, but have you ever heard something in someone's marriage where inside you're like, that's a red flag?
Oh, yeah, I've been around married people
Yeah.
and I'm like, y'all so fucking boring.
It's the boring.
Yeah, it's boring. It's like,
yeah.
yo, you know you're not into each other. We've talked about it.
Actually,
They
that's-
won't know who they are.
Yeah. I actually think
They're
that's for
blind.
me a red flag in marriage. If I don't see you joyous,
Yeah.
and not every time is joyous,
Yeah.
right? But I feel like if I'm not seeing, if I bring more laughter to your face than your man or your woman does, it's a problem.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Tobie, I want to talk about this reform fuckboy because I've always been fascinated.
It's
Okay.
sexy too.
It's the
It's
that's
sexy.
Okay. If I could
York.
if I could just say,
Yes.
because the fuck boys, they get me. It's what I am looking for. A reform. You did it right. Because you need to be able to have the fuck boy in your back pocket. I need the husband at the forefront, but I need you to sometimes, on occasion, just to pull it out and just catch me off guard to know that you got it. And I feel like that's what you found. And I'm trying to figure out, at the end of this, we should figure out what your prayer was so that I can,
But I need
speak
to
to
talk
my
to
God.
Tobie because I feel like it's not on Shinelle to change Tobie. It's not about the prayer
No.
that Shinelle's doing. I feel like we need to find out what Tobie's prayer is. I feel like, what is it? Because if we're honest, whether it's sexy or not, I do think sometimes it's a little like, woof. Are you going to ghost me or are you going to fuck me? It's a little complex. But I feel like sometimes the more you go deeper into it, it's like there's an insecurity. You tell me if I'm wrong. In that period of your life, was there an insecurity?
100%, yeah.
See, I could be a therapist.
100%.
You know what?
But the insecurity is still here now. Like the
Oh.
insecurity is still there. I'm still moving.
Talk
I'm
about
still
it.
healing. But I'm also on a journey where it's like I want to share those insecurities with somebody that's going to take care of me. And that's where I end up. That's where the reform comes from.
So I feel like a lot of people sometimes think like, I can make that fuckboy believe that I can take care of them, right? Was it something Shinelle did, or was it in a place in your life, or what? You know what I mean? Like,
No, I think it was me. And this is when we both got married. We got married in our 20s. Like I was 27, you were 26.
I was
or something like that.
27, you were 28.
I was 28. And the thing is, I was like, we both need to be whole people. We were not whole.
We weren't.
But I knew that it was like, if you ain't whole, I'm not into that, I'm about to complete you type of thing. Because I can't.
Right.
If you ain't a whole circle, we fucked up from the start. You know what I'm saying? But we were whole circles at that moment. And so, and as I got older, I started to be like, yo, I still got a lot of work to do. And it was me wanting to do work on myself and then seeing her. And it's kind of like when we met each other, traumas meet each other, and we want to move through that stuff together. And it's like, help me heal. Like, help me work on my insecurities, and I'm still working on them to
We
this
don't
day.
say those things in our relationship. It's just something like, he just happens to be the right person where it's like, damn, I did just see that thing. So we were talking about this when you guys was like, you want to be on the red flag. We're like, a marriage and red flags would say, leave this marriage. So it was like, when we did look at everything, it was like a minefield. It was like, ugh, we're hitting a point, because also the culture is to talk about healing, to talk about what you won't take. And it's a different time. But what we're choosing to do every day, we choose just like, I choose today. Anytime there's an argument when he says our traumas meet each other, people don't come out and say, hey, I'm this person, forgive me. No.
Yes.
It takes days. It takes a whole lot. It's complicated. So we don't really voice those things, and we don't call them red flags. And I should have thought of pink. We were like, maybe it's yellow because it tells us caution, you know? And if I care about myself to be seen and to help him, and all these things happening between us, I need to say, hey, I need a moment. Like, you just hit something.
Well,
We need to work on this.
I think there's I imagine that once you get married, I know there's more work to be done, but I imagine that you kind of like the red flags of it kind of feels like it's kind of done. But once you're married, do you still are you still kind of looking for red flags in your partner, even though you've made this commitment, you've made this decision?
Yeah.
Are you still kind of like, but you could one
Because
day?
we're evolving. We're evolving, and we're different people. I'm not the 27-year-old. Like, when he
Right.
proposed, I wasn't looking for a proposal. I just went with it because I was like, okay, every girl wants to get. But we started growing, and now I'm seeing what marriage is with children, and like how we keep like moving on this thing. It's like it's
I think what we do also is and with what the show is, we wave our red flag and say, hey, I'm waving my red flag.
We're also
I need for you to
artists.
see me.
We're
I need
artists.
for you
We
to see
see
that this
ourselves
is
so much more than other people,
That's
because we're
true.
always like
Yeah.
changing for characters
And
like,
investigating yourself
we'll
to
talk
play
out,
the character.
We talk
yeah.
too damn much to our kids. We be like, we're feeling like this right now because you hit me. I never hit you, okay?
Yeah.
Zay's like, okay, stop talking to me. And we be
There's
like,
been times
Tobie, I'm
where we've
hurt.
been in arguments, and she'll say to me, she was like, hey, I don't want you to bring this up later because you do the thing where you bring this up later. And that's a red flag. That what I understand now is that you're talking about a red flag that you see in me.
Yeah.
Because I'll bring it up and I'll use it as ammunition later.
Can I, what I'm seeing as a resident therapist, it sounds like for y'all, a red flag takes on a different meaning. It's not red flag, you need to leave. It's, hey, red flag, y'all need to work on this before the marriage as a unit versus like me as a human leaves. You know what I mean?
Hey,
and so it's like,
individual, I got
hey,
issues.
we gotta, and it's not a me problem or you, it's a we. We gotta, the marriage is showing its red flag, which I find very fascinating.
It's very humbling too when you got two little kids looking at you and you
Yeah.
like do an outburst and the child goes, okay. It's like, where y'all get all this personality from? Then it becomes
They
on
get it
him.
from you. You know, one of the best pieces of advice you've given me is you told me, I'm not joking, I call Shinelle, I'm like, this nigga is tripping. Like, and you told me, maybe get curious about him. Like, don't worry about if it's right or wrong. Get to know him. Get to know why he does what he's doing. Because you said if you focus on what he did, you're going to make a judgment. But if you understand where it's coming from, you'll be able to make a better decision.
Yeah.
Now, the decision was to leave and bounce.
Well.
But if I didn't get to know the person, it was the easiest breakup for me because I was like, oh, this is coming from that, and I don't have the capacity for that. It is above me.
Yeah.
But I think if I had left based on like the thing, I would have come back. I would have
Circle the block.
circled the block.
You're also strong enough to do that. Some chicks, they'll just keep being in the loop, I
Yeah.
feel. Anyway,
I think
right?
I
And
think
it's
I
like-
would have been in the loop had you not told me that, because what it made me do was actually stay for a bit to try and understand where's this coming from, and then make a decision based on who they were versus what society says is a red flag. You know, which I found very beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. So thank you, Shinelle. Didn't lead
Thank
me to a
you.
marriage, but you know. But
You know what? We don't tell friends, get married, have kids. We're not fans of any of that. It's like, if that's your life, do it.
Right.
Right? Because,
Yeah, I'm not an advocate for marriage or for babies. I'm an advocate for do what feels right
please
for
be
you.
healthy in this life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
It's hard. Kimmy and I go back and forth. I feel like we're constantly having this conversation about like, are we really? Why do we want somebody? Like, is it possible to find somebody that is good for you in this day and age? And I think we are hungry for examples. Like we are looking for examples of people who have found it and made it work that are our age. Because I think our parents are a different thing. The world was completely different when our parents, were together. There weren't so many options. We didn't have access to the world in the way that we do now. But something that Kimmy said, we were like, listen, we may have to just be fine and single for the rest of our lives, and that's where we're gonna find peace. And then Kimmy was like, but who do you know that's like 45 and single and happy? And we were like,
Yeah.
we don't have that either.
Yeah,
So-
we don't have any. That's
What
why
are we
when
supposed
we
to do?
leave your house, we're like, okay, now we need to find a man. we like, this is what we want. Yeah.
I love
this
y'all's
is-
relationships.
I do.
I
Yeah.
love it. Y'all got that.
The reason I love, and I don't know what it would be like if I wasn't married to Shinelle, because I saw a lot of death as a young person, and I saw what death did to families, and I saw death in hospital rooms and who had to make decisions and all that type of stuff. And so what I started to understand in marriage is like, oh, I'm giving you responsibility to make some tough decisions if something tragic happens to me.
Yeah.
And that's how it affects me, and that's how I see it, because I've seen it tear families apart. I've seen it tear my cousins that are my age. I've seen it tear them apart in ways that I'm like, we shouldn't be doing this. And and I think a little bit, and you may cut this out, but I think we're seeing it a little bit with Jamie Foxx's situation, where his daughter's having to speak on
Yeah.
all of the important stuff, and it's like, I don't want to give that to my child, to where she's having to do that.
Yeah.
I would rather to give it to somebody that's actually been doing some work.
Yeah.
She could be doing work. I don't mean to put that out, but somebody that's actually been in it with me and understands me and know what we want. Because what I learned, what my mom wants is not what my auntie wants for
Yeah.
her brother.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was her lover, friend. She knows more than
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
what
and
you
it's
know.
a
That's-
different,
it's different.
relationship. Like
Yeah.
what my mom would do versus what I would do, completely different.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I was just thinking how, like, I guess we attach different meanings for what marriage is. Like for you, your experience brought that up. I was once dating someone very special to me, and he grew up, parents not together. Dad would come to drop money and bounce. Yeah. And so when we started dating, we were in a similar playing field. And then it just so happened my career, bloop, went up. And the relationship crumbled, and like we just like could never find it. And one time I asked him, I was like, oh no, I didn't even ask him. He brought it up. He's like, I don't know what to do with you. I was like, what you mean? He's like, I don't know what I can provide in your life, because you flying here, you doing that, you writing for this, you just shot. And for me, I was like, what do these two have to do with each other. He's like, I just don't see, like, you may not see it, but there's no use for me being in your life. Whereas for me, my mom works. My dad works. There was a point where my mom was making more money than my dad, you know? And so for me, marriage was about emotional support and not financial support. But for him, marriage and partnership was about financial support. And because I didn't need that, he could not see his relevance in my life. Whereas for me, I'm like, just...
That's unfortunate.
I got other places where I could use some support.
need some support.
Yeah. But it is interesting how for you, we all are attaching what the marriage must mean, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is two people come together, and I'm looking for emotional support in a marriage, and he's looking to provide for me, and then you never know how life takes you. I may earn more money, and then suddenly someone cannot be in a marriage because they're like, this is not a marriage.
And I think that's the other hard part, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just when you meet the person and then you get married, as you're both evolving as people, you're still trying to figure out how this union can work as you're evolving as individual people and having different ideas and wanting to explore different things. But because you're in this union, what you decide to do with your life affects the other person. And so that's always a conversation. And I feel like it's hard to find someone that you can evolve with in that way. And I have that experience with friends, like close friends from high school and college. And it's like, for some reason, as we both grow, we evolve in a similar way. It's not exactly the same, but it makes sense for us to continue to be close friends in that way. But for whatever reason, it just feels like on a romantic level, it's so difficult to find that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about it a lot, though. Like, I remember when we first did couples therapy, I told the therapist, I was like, she gonna make so much more money than me, and he was not even comfortable with me saying that. And I was totally comfortable because of the artist lifestyle. And I was like, and we have times where one is up and one is down as far as like financially, but I always know that emotionally, even if I have $0 in the bank, I know that I'm valuable.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing where it's like so many men that even I know only place value on having monetary things. And I'm like, bro, you don't know how much you provide.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand that? Like,
And that was what was always sad for me, because he's an artist as well. So I'm like, my guy, you don't know what life can bring. You could book the biggest thing ever.
I would be a great stay-at-home dad.
I
would be
Or
a
you
great
being together brings more blessings.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And for me, I saw so much value that he was adding to my life. So much so when he said that, I'm like, what are you talking about? And also we were so much younger then, where it's like, I don't need you to pay any bill for me. And I think
that's
even,
a turn on for me. I ain't gonna
even
I love that.
a turn off for a lot of men.
No, I'm like,
now,
yes, because I'm comfortable in being like,
Yeah.
I ain't got no money, baby. Let's go. But you got to be comfortable
Yes.
with that too, though.
I'm comfortable if you can cover your own bill. I'm not trying to cover your bill. You know,
Yeah.
if you can and ambition. I need to know there's ambition. I need to know that you're not like comfortable with that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit on my
But till we're
ass.
on our way, and if I believe in you, like if we can soar together, I'm okay.
But the other element that I think we're not really talking about is, Tobie, because you're an artist and you're an actor and you deal, like your job is to deal with emotions, most men are not comfortable being sitting in their emotions and sharing that with their partner and being that support system in that way. So it feels like they don't have that to bring to the table, so all they have to offer is the money
But
part.
that man was an artist.
Also, I had a hard time with women in business, like that was like in the business building
Yeah.
in college. They didn't get me. They really, they didn't want to date me.
Shinelle said, I know what I could do with that.
Artist.
Real quick, we gotta go to the Instagram.
Yes.
The Instagram people gotta ask us
Oh,
about
yeah.
that. Because, they're probably tired of us. They're like, what does York and Kemiyondo? They're single as fuck, okay? They're like, I used to think that this podcast would be called Advice from Your Single Friend, because I think everyone's like, don't get advice from your single friend. I give great advice.
I give great advice too. Yeah.
Sounds like, let's go with how right is written.
Yeah, it's
Anyway, now we have people who are not single who have won the victory. Okay.
Oh no, we fighting every day.
Someone,
It has not been
but
won.
but you're still here.
You're in
and
the
that's
battle.
what matters.
Me in the battle.
Someone asked, mismatched libido
Oh.
in a marriage. Damn.
God made me choke. I didn't do that.
Is that a red flag? And should we pay attention to it when dating?
Oh my God.
It's not a red flag. I think that's a natural flag. However, you got to talk about it. And I'm one that's like, hey, I'm gonna need some. I'm gonna need some. Some. And it's not that I'm about to go out and like be crazy. It's like, no, can we please just talk about it? Can you please just listen to me right now?
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, go say it.
I wasn't thinking that.
No, what I was gonna say is like sometimes as women, like you can go through a moment. I don't know what your situation is, but I have friends who've had kids. And look, I just pushed something out of my vagina. I don't need anything in it for the moment, okay? And I'm sorry that you probably need something. I also don't feel like, I'm not in the
100%.
mood.
And
Are
I
you
think-
able to talk through that as well?
Yes, and I think as a spouse of someone that's just had a baby, you have to realize that you got to do the reading. You got to get up on all of that type of stuff. I didn't even know. I had to read about postpartum and all of that type of stuff because I was like, what is this? And it's real. And so I had to look at that. I had to look at like she didn't want to be touched by me. And I had to deal with my own
when
stuff.
you got one baby sucking on your titty and you got like another one like, mom, want to get on your back and stuff, and then your husband trying to be like, come on, give me some. It's like,
And it's
hey,
not
nigga,
it's
stop.
not about my at that point it's not about my libido. It's not
it's
about my
like,
ego.
hey,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I've
Mama's
been
the
learning. Sometimes
source.
it's not even libido. It's like, this is how I receive love is through physical touch. Where it's like, on the woman's side, it's like an overload of physical touch. It's like, I'm getting too much touch.
Yeah.
Toby's been very spoiled by Mama too, where Mama will massage him, and I don't know how to do it. Like he'd be
I
like,
hate
"Come on, baby,
massaging
touch
people.
me,
Yeah,
do this."
yeah.
Your love language is food and touch.
Yeah.
And it's like, as his wife, I'm like, all right, let me get.
That's a massage,
least you
everybody.
do it.
That wasn't a tuck and jerk. It was just a massage.
I know. Through the video, it kind of looked like she said, "All right."
She is not that violent when she touched it.
Let's be real. He just told y'all, I'm gonna go get it somewhere else.
Yeah. Last question. This keeps, like, 3 people asked a version of this. Your partner putting their family's comfort ahead of your own. And this, like, there's like 5 people who have asked, like, someone who puts their family above your own, some version of that. That's very tricky, and I've seen it play in a lot of, like, marriages. Because, you know, you come from this family and they're everything, and then now you're starting this, like, other family. How do y'all navigate that? Is it a red flag if someone's too close to their family? Because I also think a partner who expects me not to choose my family at certain times is a red flag. But it's like, how do you find that balance?
That's a good question.
Wow, that's good. I think the family at a certain point, it's hard early on, but at a certain point, your family that you have to make sure that this is concrete. My father and my mother have already established what gets them, that helps them. Her parents have already established what's helped them. We got to figure out what helps us, and we have to.
There's also sister-brother bond that we each have. We've come from big families. Like, he has 2 siblings. I have 2 siblings. There's also a thing where you have to tell them, I'm okay. You don't have to protect me.
Yeah.
And when we saw that each side was trying to protect and it's love, you see it from a different lens where it's like, okay, I can endure this. Let's talk. And as long as we keep listening to each other, like, you're right, we have our own thing. I don't know. We were trying to take care of everyone, but it became too much, and we're starting to look in now. And it's much more simpler because we have children. But now it's about what we got. They're going to respect it. We got to trust that they'll take care of themselves.
And through time, what we understand is what you were saying. It's like, I don't want you to move away from your family, but I want you to allow me to come in and bring my energy into whatever we have now? Can you allow me and who I am to be a part of this? Because it changes the dynamic, because they can love me like you love me. Or they won't.
Right.
Which is like, but I still need for you to love me like you've been loving me.
I
That's
feel
so
like my
beautiful.
family look at Tobie like, Tobie, what you think? Oh,
Oh.
my sister's like, Tobie, this happened. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
what about me? I think they prefer us not sometimes together, like
Yeah.
as a front. They want to be like, I want to have a relationship with this
Yeah,
person.
and I
Move.
think that's important.
yeah.
Y'all so beautiful. We like to end on a positive note so that people don't think we're just so negative.
I don't think
And
this
so,
is negative.
yeah, you know, sometimes.
you know,
Yeah,
this is a
ask
lighter episode, you know,
Ask our
sometimes.
exes. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So we usually stop on a green fact, but for today, what's your favorite thing about Shinelle? One line.
I love Shinelle. I want to say spirit. It's a lot of stuff. I love Shinelle's spirit, that she's a mom. I love that she chose me, and I love that just recently she helped me through. You said one line. I got a whole paragraph.
It's all right.
Oh,
Just recently, she helped me through a moment where I was able to, you know how sometimes you can feel like, man, I've been 16 for so long. She helped me become a grown man. And it was like, I finally felt like, and I ain't scared to say it, I felt like a 39-year-old. And I'm like, thank you for allowing me to step into my man.
Oh,
So
love that.
yeah, she gave me that, y'all.
You see why every time we go over there, we come
Yeah.
out looking for somebody?
listen, Hinge needs to sponsor y'all because I'd be like, let me download the app right now. All right, Shinelle, it's your turn.
Toby? Because I know what he's
Y'all are
talking about.
so beautiful. See, this is what I mean by the work. All right, Shinelle. What's your favorite thing about Tobie?
Damn.
She got nothing.
This that fuck
I got a lot of things. I like, he's a good dad, and I like that he says sorry, because it's been hard for me. Just he comes from a whatever. But me, it's really tough for me to say sorry because I want to be a strong woman, and he shows me as a person. Just always show that grace to someone, and so I appreciate him. Fuck you, Tony. But he's a great dad. He's a good dad. I love hearing him with the kids, and I'm like, I did that part right, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. That is so
love
beautiful.
that.
You see, this is why I have hope again. York, what's your favorite part about me? I'm kidding.
My favorite part?
Okay,
Okay.
the real question. Something about Tobie and Shinelle's relationship that you love, because this is something me and York share. We love their relationship.
Yeah.
Something, what's a quality where you're like, that's my green flag.
Y'all's ability to laugh with each other and make each other laugh. It just, being in y'all's house, it's like, and laughter despite whatever's going on. I never feel like, oh, they're just the perfect relationship. Oh, I just wish I could have it's like, I see that y'all are working through certain things and talking about things, but y'all can do that and laugh in between. And that is like the number one thing that I am looking for in a relationship. If I could find that, I feel like I would have won half the battle. So that's something that I just love about y'all.
York stole mine. We do love their laughter. And I think it's my favorite thing about y'all is y'all's ability to go from laughter to tough moments through like, we crying, we laughing, we doing all the things. And it's just the most beautiful thing for me to watch because I think it just shows the range.
Yeah.
And with that,
Thank y'all
thank
so
y'all
much for
so much
coming.
for
This
coming.
has been amazing.
love y'all.
Love y'all.
Yes.
I love
If
y'all.
y'all ever break up, we'll kill y'all.
No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank y'all.